What's up, y'all? It's your boy AyoStiff here. And in this reaction video today, it's a combination of multiple shorts. This is a request from a subscriber. As you guys already know, I do requests. So if you ever have a request of a video you like me to react to, please send it. Text it down in the comment section below of any video. I get the notification, so trust me, I'm gonna see it. And if you guys really like watch me and my reactions, then definitely let me know if there's something you want me to react to. But for this one, in this video, it's all shorts, and I don't know the exact minutes on some. I looked at the minute on like 1 or 2, so it's like 1-2 minutes. So real short. So I'm gonna compile them all together in this one video because they're shorts. Realistically, I don't know what the hell these are gonna be about. From just the title of this first one, Certified Australia Moment, I'm guessing it's gonna be like geographic stuff, like animals and, you know, the islands and different places and stuff like that, I guess. And so plants, animals, stuff like that. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, there's 19 of these. Yes, you heard me right. There are 19 of these, right? And in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and speed run through all of them, because again, they're short. Speed run through all of them. I'm gonna give my at the end conclusion, reaction, whatever you want to call it, explanation, how I feel about it at the end of the short, and then we'll just go to the next one. So without further ado, first one, Certified Australia Moment.
Australia has a lot of spiders, but recently we found a new one, because of course we fucking did. And the new one is the most certified Australia moment I've ever seen. For a bit of context, one of the several thousand spider species we are home to is the Sydney funnel web, the deadliest spider on the planet. Because of course it's down here. Where the fuck else did you think you were going to find it? These scary looking fuckers are highly venomous and can flatline you with a bite in 15 minutes. And if you think wearing thick clothes will save you, be aware the bastards have fangs long enough to punch through shoe leather. Now, why do I bring these little nightmares up? What is the one thing worse than a spider rocking armor-piercing rounds that can send you to heaven with same-day delivery?
I said
a bigger spider rocking the same perk setup. That's right, Australian scientists have found a brand new species of this funnel web that is even bigger.
Look
how much bigger? Well, the standard Sydney funnel web grows to around 5 centimeters or 2 inches. And I mean, if you're asking me, 2 inches is more than enough. 2 inches is actually fucking huge. By comparison, this is the new one. It's twice the fucking size, cunt! 4 inches of 8-legged menace to the animal kingdom. But that isn't even the best part. You see, do you know what they named this thing? Do you know what professional scientists named a supersized version of the most dangerous spider on the entire fucking planet? The Newcastle Big Boy. Deadliest spider on the entire fucking globe. Big Boy. Only in Australia. Australia has a lot of spiders, but
what the fuck? Here's the second one. If you see this animal T-pose, run.
if you see this thing T-pose, run! Introducing the anteater, a goofy little creature native to Brazil, and to understand why the absolute stance on this bad boy is a threat to your health, you're gonna have to understand a little about his lifestyle first. Now listen, I know this may come as a shock to you, but the anteater eats ants. And weighing in at 40 kilos and 1.8 meters in length, it needs to consume upwards of 40,000 ants per day. Now, in order to help him hit his bulking goals, the anteater has a mystery mouse tool stored inside that XL sniffer.
Yeah.
60 centimeter long tongue. Designed to snake its way down an ant colony.
Yeah, the guys, listen, don't call me weird, okay? Your boy Stiff, AyoStiff, is a dope, cool ass dude. Don't call me weird. I have watched like a video about an anteater, and so most of the stuff I'm seeing, I'm not really surprised because I've already known about it. And if you're wondering why were you looking that up, I don't know, bro. I got bored, okay? I couldn't find a video to watch. I got bored, and so I said, Fuck it, I want to look at an anteater. Okay, so don't come at me for that.
Colony's tunnel network smash into their living room and abduct the entire cast of Bug's Life and convert them into a high-calorie meal. However, what that tongue do only goes so far, as an ant colony can extend up to 4 meters underground, and termites live in high-rises, which means our boy here is going to have to do a little excavation to get to the goods. But last I checked, an anteater can't go down to Bunnings and buy a shovel. So how does he dig? Oh, that's simple. With the combat knives he has for claws. Yeah, anteaters are permanently cosplaying Freddy Krueger with a set of 4-inch claws, which, proving the effectiveness of a few inches, can crack through f***ing concrete. Now, these work great for digging, but they are also more than capable of flatlining you. When threatened, the anteater will rear up into a defensive T-pose. This is your sign, if you are smart, to turn around and f*** all the way off. If, however, you were, say, some dumbass trophy hunter who really felt the need to try and stab an animal for no reason other than ego, the anteater will swipe at you with those claws, which are at the perfect height to nail your inner thigh, slip through your flesh like butter, and sever your femoral artery, causing you to bleed out in 2 minutes while the anteater watches you go meet your ancestors. Can you imagine having to explain to your ancestors who felled woolly mammoths you got your packed up by the most unserious creature on the planet hitting a teapot?
No, for real.
If you see this thing
No, I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be mad embarrassing when you go up to heaven. You gotta tell everybody else you got packed up by an anteater. Oh, no. Yeah, they ain't gonna let you hold that one down. The world's most painful plant. Alright, third short here, guys. Let's see what this one's about.
Touching this plant will put you in the hospital.
I'm dying.
This is the Gimpy plant, a piece of foliage native to the land down under. And surprising no one, not only is the thing venomous, it is in fact the most painful plant on the planet. Because yeah, no, of course, man, even the fucking leaves down here have a problem with me. Growing in the rainforests of northern Queensland, these hell bushes are covered in tiny hairs that upon closer inspection aren't hairs at all and are actually thousands of hypodermic needles waiting to stab you and break off inside your skin if you so much as brush them. Once inside you, these needles will inject you with, I am not kidding, neurotoxin and cause absolutely excruciating pain. I mean, like comedic levels of pain. With one person describing it as being covered in hot acid and electrocuted, and another woman saying that it was straight up more painful than childbirth and she'd given birth 4 times. And the f***ed up part is, the neuro...
Wow. Dude. I don't think y'all understand, like, a woman said she gave birth 4 times, but that's more painful than her doing that? Can you imagine fighting somebody, or you gotta defend yourself, and a motherfucker just whip out that plate, and they're like, come here. Yo, I'm crying.
Neurotoxin isn't even lethal, so this spiteful of a plant is hurting you purely for the love of the game. Mind you, there are reports of people saying getting stung by this thing is actually worse than being put in the ground. This is because Groot's little hellspawn cousin here can continue hurting you for literal years after being stung. This is because those thousands of little hypodermic needles are actually made out of silicon, meaning your body can't break them down. And with how thin they are, your skin will usually close up over the top of them, meaning that these neurotoxin emitting slivers can sit inside your skin for literal years, releasing more neurotoxin anytime that they're moved or disturbed. This constant, chronic, agonizing pain is so unbelievably bad that there have even been records of, trying not to get banned here, people Alt F4ing existence to make it stop. This particular incident came from a man who accidentally used one of the plant leaves as toilet paper. I don't think it gets much worse than neurotoxin to the nuts. Touching this plant.
Oh. Yo. Just. Oh. Nah. Nah. On your meat? On your sack? Nah. Fort short here, guys. This snake is a problem. I don't know what type of snake. I've seen so many snakes in the world. I gotta see if I've seen this one.
This is Australia's most common snake, and that's quite a problem, because it's also one of the world's deadliest. Introducing the eastern brown snake, native to quite literally every state in the land down under. And unluckily for us, this asshole has earned himself a silver medal in the Note Rope Olympics venom category, coming in second place for the most venomous snake in the world. It is worth noting that third and first place are unsurprisingly also both held by Australian snakes, because God hates us. However, unlike first and third, the toxic middle child here is a far larger problem, because putting it lightly, he's a cunt. The eastern brown is one of the most territorial species of snake in the world, which is a scientific way of saying they operate on the US home defense philosophy. If you dare put a pinky toe onto this guy's property, he will bite your ass, injecting you with a hemotoxin that can send you to heaven via blood clot in under 30 minutes if left untreated. But hey, stay off his property and he'll leave you alone, right? Yeah, one problem. His property is your property.
Get the fuck out of my room and play Minecraft!
That's right, the eastern brown doesn't live out in the middle of nowhere like his slightly more deadly cousin. This fucker is so at home in the suburbs, he drives a fucking Prius. You can find this burnt piece of spaghetti literally anywhere. Go to put your shoes on, he's turned them into a 2-bedroom home. Hop in the car to go to work. Yeah, unfortunately, that's his car now. Get to work on the job site. What do you know? He f***ing works here too. Try to take a shower after a long day at work. F*** off. He's moisturising. You can't even take a shit in the comfort of your own home without running the risk of the dunny being occupied. In fact, these bastards are so omnipresent that out of the 200 species of snake in the country, this ginormous asshole makes up 60% of snake bites. What a cunt. This is Australia.
She said brown serpent guardian of the bowl. Elden Ring type beat. Hell nah. That snake is just... That snake's like that one boss you fight at the beginning, you fight at the middle, then you fight him again at the end. That y'all know what I'm talking about? Koalas are really dumb. Nah, really?
Koalas are really dumb. In fact, Australia's fuzzy icon is probably the dumbest thing on the planet. And that stupidity starts with their diet, because of all the things they could have chosen to eat, they chose to eat nothing but straight up poison. You see, koalas feed exclusively on eucalyptus leaves, which, shocking no one, are highly toxic, because they are full to the brim with eucalypt oil, which is so fucking poisonous that as little as 3.75 mil is enough to land you in the afterlife, with the Reaper asking you why the fuck you felt the need to eat a leaf.
Why?
Oh, it's also highly flammable and burns like napalm, because Australia. Now, despite nature putting up this giant do not eat sign, that did not stop the koala, because he can't fucking read. This suboptimal bulking diet not only gives the koala fuck all in the way of nutrition, but also requires their body to rest to filter out the toxins so they don't fucking cark it. Meaning they need to spend upwards of 18 hours a day sleeping in order to just digest their fucking food. These dumbasses spend most of their life in a food coma. That is, however, if they even get to the food to begin with, because they are so mind-numbingly brain dead that they will not recognize a eucalyptus leaf as food unless it is on the branch. I could give this dumbass a lifetime supply of food, and if it wasn't on a stick, he would starve to death. It should come as no surprise to you at this point that the koala has such an esky temperature IQ that they literally have a smooth brain. The thoughts slide right off of this dumb c***. I love him. Koalas
Dude said a smooth brain. I'm gonna start using that. Crocodiles are basically dinosaurs. Agreed.
Crocodiles are just dinosaurs that forgot to go extinct. I am dead serious, and I cannot think of a croc species to better make my point than the saltwater crocodile, a species native to the land down under, and shocking absolutely no one, yes, it can and will eat you. You see, keeping on theme with the whole forgetting to go extinct thing, the Salties stat spread just feels like something that should have been patched out with the rest of Jurassic Park, starting with their ridiculous size. You see, Salties are the largest reptile on the planet, coming in at a total of 6 meters long with a maximum weight of 1,100 kilos, which makes this murder lizard genuinely longer than my car. And the f***ed up part is that despite being longer than my ute, they are for some reason absolute masters of stealth. You see, crocs are ambush predators, which is a scientific way of saying they are dirty f***ing campers. You see, they've got 2 raised eyes that sit on the top of their heads, which means they can submerge their Ford Falcon-sized frame basically entirely under the water without sacrificing the ability to spot whatever they are looking to turn into a Happy Meal. And from your perspective as the Happy Meal, they are really difficult to see, which makes it very easy to walk just a little too close and, get bitten in half by that hydraulic press that they call a mouth.
That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
That's right, just like any good camper, these scaly arseholes are packing a one-shot in the form of one of the highest bite forces of any animal on the planet, having been recorded at putting out a maximum of 3,700 psi of force through their jaws. To put that into context, your skull will crack at 1,100 psi, so a croc would pop your head like a watermelon. And if you don't immediately get folded by the first bite, those jaws will latch onto you as the croc begins a death roll, spitting its ton of body weight like a washing machine until whatever part of you it has decided to eat snaps off and is added to its protein goals.
Yeah, that death roll is scary.
But the best thing about the crocodile is their build is so f***ing good. They have genuinely been around with very little evolutionary change for 65 million years. Which means I grew up watching Steve Irwin wrestle dinosaurs for fun. Rest in peace, you absolute f***ing legend. Crocodiles are just dinosaurs.
Nah, bruh. People be talking about a lion is, the king of the jungle. Bro, put that man up against a crocodile. What is he finna do? That man finna get humbled. King of the jungle. King of who? Alright. Australia's most dangerous jellyfish. That shit is true. If any of you guys think a jellyfish is not dangerous, you are tripping.
This jellyfish is basically a time bomb. Introducing the Irukandji, a species of jellyfish native to the northern waters of the land down under, and possibly my least favourite animal in the entire ocean, because it is just a massive, spiteful cunt. Well, massive is misleading, as this little guy is tiny. I mean, ridiculously small. Being not much bigger than your fingernail at the head and basically completely f***ing invisible to the naked eye. This is a fairly major problem, because behind that halo cloak frame they are dragging 3-foot-long tentacles and shocking absolutely no one.
Say the line, Bart.
It is one of the most venomous jellyfish in the ocean.
Yeah!
I'm so fucking tired of the stealth poison multi-classes on OCE servers, dude. This
said
shit is broken.
multi-classes.
You see, those 3-foot tentacles are covered with tiny little barbs, and at the barest touch, they will literally propel themselves into your skin like a bullet and inject you with the Australia Special, a pina colada cocktail of various neurotoxins. And upon being injected, you will feel absolutely nothing. You'll keep swimming around, splashing about in the water, kissing the homies, until you are overcome.
Bro, come on, bro. What the fuck? This is stupid.
With a sudden, severe feeling of impending dread. I mean the kind of dread that will have you hysterically screaming that you are about to die.
I am gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna f***ing die!
That's because the invisible cunt here does psychic damage, inflicting a condition known as Irukandji syndrome, which starts with a feeling of impending doom so strong there are records of people asking to be, avoiding a ban here, forcibly disconnected from God's Minecraft server. And that feeling of doom is warranted because about 30 minutes after being stung, that biological bomb goes off, with the venom initially causing extreme pain throughout your entire body. And after making you feel like a failed isekai protagonist, the venom then spikes your blood pressure and heart rate through the roof, which can cause heart attacks, blood clots, and has even been recorded to cause brain hemorrhages.
And the f***ed up part is, it doesn't have an anti-venom.
This thing sneak attacks you, waits 30 minutes, sends you a private DM telling you it got your ass, and there is not a fucking thing you can do about it. Toxic little shit. This jelly...
Nah. He said... Yo, that's like the equivalent of throwing a Semtex on homie mid-game and you just say GG's and then it's just over. Oh my god, them jellyfish are demons. Okay. Australia lost the war to emus? Emus? I think I'm saying it right. Emus. What?
Australia lost a war to emus.
Emus.
But how? How the f*** did we lose an armed conflict with flightless birds? Well, it all started in 1932 when farmers in Western Australia wanted to grow wheat. There was just one major problem. That's emu territory, and emus really like wheat. And coming in at 6 foot tall and 40 kilos in weight, they can eat a lot of it. So when breeding season came around, the emus migrated through the farmland, and these poor farmers were overwhelmed by a tyrannid swarm of man-sized poultry, 20,000 emus strong. These feathered tanks then proceeded to completely steamroll through the fences into the fields and started laying waste to the wheat. The farmers attempted to fight back the initial wave with rifle fire, but their efforts were, putting it lightly, completely useless. This ginormous L made the farmers pretty bloody angry, so they gathered together and went to the government to ask for help. Sir, 20,000 emus have hit the wheat fields. Me, mate. And so the government declared the emus enemies of the state and sent in the army to commence the Great Emu War. The entire 7th Heavy Artillery Division was deployed to WA, armed with 2 LMGs, 10,000 rounds, and the sole objective to blast anything with feathers. A little bit excessive for an overgrown turkey if you ask me, and upon their first deployment, the army immediately ran into a major problem. Emus are fast.
I am speed.
Really fast, clocking a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, which meant that once they opened fire, the emus would immediately bolt out of range of their weapons. But they still took a crack at it, and then immediately stopped when both LMGs jammed after only dropping 12 emus. This embarrassment led the army to retreat and rethink their plan. So a few weeks later they returned, this time mounting the LMGs on trucks in an attempt to run the birds down. However, this also didn't work, because after figuring out that those trucks meant they were about to be turned into a KFC family bucket, the emus started leaving scout birds who would warn the flock of the approaching trucks, which gave them all enough time to book it before the army even got there. And whenever they did catch the emus, they found out they were kind of... Because emus are mostly feathers, and there's a lot of places you can hit on them without doing any damage, meaning it was taking around 10 bullets for every 1 bird. So after a month of blood, sweat, tears, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, the army managed to bring down 960.
The population was 20,000. This was an issue as, unlike America, our defense budget is not a bottomless pit. So the army had wasted all that money to achieve absolutely fuck all. So the government just kind of built a really long, really shit fence around the farms and called it a day.
How the fuck did we lose this? I could have done a better job with a boomerang and a cricket bat.
Australia?
You know, not even that. And I just thought of this just now, right? Why didn't they just put up an electric fence that sent out like extremely high voltage? So as soon as they touch it, they just... You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just tripping. Alright. Next one. This pigeon saved a whole army battalion. A pigeon? It must have delivered some crucial information. Let's see.
This pigeon saved an entire army battalion.
Heroes never die.
Introducing our protagonist, Jeremy, a carrier pigeon who was in the employ of the US Army Signal Corps during World War I. You see, back in the oldie times, radio technology was, kind of dog shit. So carrier pigeons were still the meta for DMing the homies memes over distance. Which is how, in 1918, our feathered little shock trooper here ended up in France, with 500 US soldiers stuck 3 kilometers behind enemy lines, completely cut off from supply and reinforcement in a 7-day shootout. You see, Jeremy's battalion, juiced up on freedom and red crayons, had overextended and become trapped, surrounded on all sides by German soldiers. And to make matters worse, being stuck behind enemy lines meant they were now on the receiving end of US defense spending, being absolutely hammered with friendly artillery. Now, stuck as far away as they would have had more luck using their radio as fucking nunchucks than a comms device. So they began sending out carrier pigeons in an attempt to tell command to stop fucking shelling them and help on the point. However, the Germans were having none of that shit and shot every single carrier pigeon the battalion sent out of the air like they were running an AIM Labs warm-up. Until only one remained, Jeremy. Desperate and rapidly running out of soldiers, the battalion wrote a message and attached it to Jeremy, sending him into the air and watching him sail above the trees. And just when they thought he was clear, some f***ing sweat on the German side nailed him. The battalion watched in horror as their last hope spiraled out of the sky. The bullet tore straight through Jeremy's center of mass, destroying one eye, punching a hole through his chest, and blowing off one of his legs. And this Giga Chad of an animal tanked it.
Do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache.
The Marines watched in awe as this mangled pigeon picked itself out of the mud and managed to fly clear of German fire. Jeremy made it the whole way back to base, delivering the message and saving a total of 194 soldiers. Not only did he get the job done, but he f***ing lived. He was granted one of the highest military honors the French army could provide and sent into retirement with his trainer. And when he eventually did pass several years later, he was preserved and placed in the Smithsonian, where you can go see him today. There he is. Absolute f***ing legend. This pigeon...
Nah, that dude lost a leg, got shot at right in the middle, and lost an eye. And this dude literally said,
I think we need to move Lonzo.
That ain't no problem.
Huh?
That ain't no problem.
nah, that pigeon built different for real. Okay, next one. This bear was an actual soldier. A bear as a soldier is scary for real.
This bear was actually a soldier.
Hell no.
But how? You see, it was 1942, and the 22nd Polish Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran, on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd, looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad law, said,
Damn good deal.
and in the most worthwhile
Damn
trade
good
deal in
deal.
history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek. And the 22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier.
Maggots!
As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker, who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would f***ing wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you? On top of double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They let the bear have smoko. Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely none of it. You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which meant Wojtek had to go. Or did he? Because the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted the rank of private, so when confronted about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek." And Wojtek took his new role very seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. They had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery, he was promoted to the rank of corporal, and the 22nd changed their insignia to a bear carrying an artillery shell.
Oh,
This
bruh. absolute
absolute unit smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis. Based. This bear...
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This is getting crazy. We got pigeons, bro. We got bears. Like, we've heard of dogs, like, you know, police dogs, but a bear and a pigeon? Oh my god, bro. This is getting out of hand. How were they running this shit back in the day? Ugh, what the hell is that? This shrimp causes explosions. Wait. Before I start the video, I kid you not, if this is what I think it is, then I haven't seen this. I haven't seen the short, so don't start thinking like, you seen this? No, I haven't seen the short. But I remember seeing a video a while back about there being a type of shrimp. It was either a shrimp or some type of underwater animal or creature. I'm gonna say creature, that its tail or whatever is like a ball, and when it hits you, it like, or like if it hits glass, it breaks the glass. And if it said that if it hits like you, it can even break your bone. I don't know. I'm about to find. Let's find out right now if this is what I think it is.
This shrimp can cause explosions.
My main goal is to blow up.
Introducing the mantis shrimp, native to the West Indo-Pacific Ocean and possibly the coolest crustacean under the sea, because this fluorescent armored sausage is actually a voracious, bloodthirsty predator rocking enough surveillance equipment to scare the CIA with a weapon powerful enough to surpass Metal Gear. See, the mantis shrimp is a highly effective predator, and they find and track their prey with easily the most advanced set of eyes on the fucking planet. First off, each of these eye stalks can rotate independently like a periscope, giving them a full 360 degrees of vision. However, more importantly, they can see colours we can't. You see, the mantis shrimp's eyes contain a full 15 photoreceptor cones compared to our 3, which is a fancy way of saying they can see in 16K HDR with ray tracing enabled at 500 render distance.
Oh my piece.
Now, not only is the visual clarity unmatched, they can also see into the infrared and ultraviolet light spectrums. And despite all of this, they still can't find who asked. What they can, however, find is their next meal. The mantis shrimp subsists on a diet of fish, worms, squidward, and, most importantly, Mr. Krabs. Now, crabs famously exist inside of a defensive shell. So, how does this polite little gentleman break into the shell? Simple. He throws hands. That's right, weighing in at only 90 grams and 38 centimeters in length, the mantis shrimp has a punch that produces 15,000 newtons of force. That is 176 newtons per gram. So if a human was capable of that same kind of force, a right hook from someone who weighs 80 kilo would be like getting hit in the face with 6 sticks of dynamite. Now, to produce that force, its claw needs to be moving at 83 kilometers an hour.
That's what it is. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the video I seen. And it was like a little short. It wasn't this one. It was a little short. This guy stuck. He had like this shrimp or whatever. He had a pet of it in his water tank or whatever. And he stuck like a piece of glass. And this was like almost similar to like that teardrop glass. You know, the one that's like extremely hard to break, right? He stuck it near it and it hit it and that shit shattered. I was like, whoa. And that was saying that if you date, like he just said, that's a lot of force. So if it hits you, it could really break your bone.
So fast, it creates a vacuum in the water called a cavitation bubble, which then immediately collapses at such a speed, it creates a miniature explosion that flashbangs the target and reaches a temperature hotter than the surface of the sun. Mr. Krabs is getting f***ing disintegrated.
Money.
This shrimp can cause
yeah. That's a dangerous shrimp. That's dangerous. Now, I can imagine them trying to catch one. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna use, but that's one different type of shrimp. This crab is a boxer. What?
This crab is a boxer.
What's your name? Agree!
That's right, stepping into the ring at 0.15 grams and a huge 2.5 centimeters in length, it's the boxer crab. You see, while most crabs use their pinchers to feed and defend themselves, the boxer crab has instead elected to spec into CQC and throw f***ing hands. And despite their completely average and not at all small size, this f***er fights in the heavyweight division, able to punch out hundreds of times its size. But how does nature's Little Mac win the fights? Well, that's pretty simple. He f***ing cheats. You see, those little pom-poms aren't a fashion choice. Those are both sea anemones that the boxer crab holds in its claws to use as basically f***ing brass knuckles. Now, they get these anemones by finding other boxer crabs who have them, jumping them, and then claiming them like they are a f***ing WWE title belt. Now, if you weren't aware, anemones are venomous plant-like animals that, in order not to get eaten, sting the shit out of anything that touches them. Boxer crabs are immune to that sting, but you bet your ass that everything that tries to eat the boxer crab isn't. So, the crab and the anemone enter into a symbiotic relationship, essentially becoming an aquatic venom, with the anemone getting some of the crab's food, and the crab gaining venomous brass knuckles. So, whenever a predator gets in the ring with Crab Tyson here, he'll wait for it to get just within striking range, and then...
Mr. Squidward, I should kick your f***ing ass!
This crab!
So basically, in a nutshell, this crab has on electric adhesive gloves. In a nutshell, or I'll even say this: they have on electric brass knuckles. just take a brass knuckles and a taser and just combine those together, and boom, there you go. That's basically all they got on their hand. All right. The world's most lethal octopus. I mean, bro, just look at it. It look lethal. My God.
This adorable little octopus is also the world's deadliest. Introducing the blue-ringed octopus, a species of cephalopod native to Australia, and in a shock to precisely 0 people at this point, it's venomous. Because of course it's f***ing venomous. Why wouldn't it be venomous? That'd make my life way too f***ing easy. Now, to its credit, unlike most of the toxic bullshit in this hellscape I call home, they at least have the common decency to be coloured like a f***ing neon sign. However, it immediately loses this credit by being the octopus equivalent of a f***ing hobbit, coming in smaller than a 50-cent coin. And this is a problem, because it is the most venomous octopus in the world. That's right, this fluoro spaghetti ball is packed to the brim with neurotoxin, more specifically, tetrodotoxin. You know, the same shit that turns cooking a puff fish into a quick time event? Yeah, these little guys are packing it too. However, because it is Australian, the blue-ringed octopus is on violence timing and is the only animal in the world to use this shit as an offensive measure by way of a venomous bite. But what does the venom actually do? Well, imagine you're wading through the rock pools with the homies, and you accidentally disturb this little gentleman's residence. The blue ring, taking the American approach to home defense, suctions onto your leg and bites you. Best part, it's completely painless. So if you're distracted by how thick your mate's looking in those Speedos, you aren't gonna feel shit. That is, until your face starts tingling like TV static. It's warm out here under the sun, but you weren't sweating like this 5 minutes ago, and now you got a headache. You start to feel sick, weak. You go to call out, but your voice comes out slurred like you just knocked back a bottle of vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
And then suddenly, your legs come out from under you, and you hit the beach. Fun fact about tetrodotoxin. It's a paralytic. Freezes up your muscles one by one, starting with your arms and legs, which is why you're kissing the sand. You know what else is a muscle? Your diaphragm, the muscle that controls your breathing. And yeah, turns those bad boys off too. And so, your chest stops rising and falling, and you suffocate to death right there on the beach.
Now, you may be wondering, how come no one called an ambulance? That's easy. They didn't have time to. You went up to meet your ancestors in under 20 minutes. God ordered your ass with same-day shipping, and this little f***er delivered. Employee of the month.
This adorable...
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say to that is this, y'all. This is why I don't go to the beach. Oh, man. Here we go. Do not, because it's capitalized. Do not step on this rock. What the hell? This is about to be something atrocious.
Stepping on this rock could straight up paralyze you. That's because this isn't actually a rock. That is a stonefish, a species of underwater menace native to Australia. And coming as a surprise to absolutely no one, it is also the most venomous fish in the ocean. Because of course it is. As if the fucking snakes and spiders weren't enough, now I can get packed up by a pet rock. But why is this Pokemon reject such a threat to my mental health? Well, you see, stonefish use their special venom for defense. However, unlike most other animals that do this little f***er doesn't have the decency to dress like a neon sign to warn you. No. This bastard is a 6th prestige prop hunt veteran, having evolved some of the most impressive camouflage in the animal kingdom to make hunting easier. And once they've set themselves up, they are basically indistinguishable from Patrick Starr's house. Now, this is a fairly major problem as they love to live in the shallows on the beach, and that venom we talked about earlier is stored in these. 13 giant, highly toxic spines that deliver venom when pressed on. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Considering it's hard enough to spot these things while you're paying attention, if you were, say, on a romantic walk along the beach with one of the homies, and while distracted by his ethereal beauty, weren't paying too much attention to where you were walking, it would be very easy to place your foot in the wrong spot and step directly onto 13 hypodermic needles, which would then deliver a ginormous dose of neurotoxin. straight into your system. Oh, you thought it was normal venom? No. You see, these things maxed out the toxin skill tree, producing a mixture of 2 neurotoxins that can flatline you by collapsing your heart and lungs in under an hour. And even if you survive, the sting still causes extreme pain, swelling, and tissue necrosis. Because this is Australia, where even the f***ing scenery is trying to one-shot me. Stepping on this rock could straight...
Tissue necrosis. So, I have a decent amount of knowledge in the medical field. So I know what necrosis looks like and what it is. And if it's tissue necrosis, I don't have to look that up to imagine what that'll look like and what that'll feel like. For any of you that don't know, it's on the video. This one told you not to do it. I'm telling you, look it up. Just look it up. Neil. I think it's Neil, not Nail. Neil. No, because Nail. I'm thinking of Nail from Dragon Ball, like Nail. But this is Neil. So it'd be Neil, not Nail. So Neil the seal is an absolute menace. I'm gonna say Neil. Let me see if he corrects me.
This seal is such a menace that he routinely gets the cops called on him. Introducing our protagonist, Neil the Seal, a 600 kilo absolute unit of a southern elephant seal from my home state of Tasmania in the land down under, who is known for, above all else, being an absolute fucking menace to polite society. But despite his crimes, we all still truly love him. But what are his crimes? Well, see, he seems to just fucking hate traffic cones and road safety in general, has regularly been caught trespassing, and then once he has been caught trespassing, belligerently screaming at locals because they won't give him his fucking fish, and has been known to just block roads by plopping his fat ass down directly in the middle of them. However, hands down, the funniest shit he has ever done was just straight stopping this random lady from going to work. I shit you not. This motherfucker crawled out of the ocean, up the beach, crossed the road, absolutely fucking bodied this woman's poor letterbox, and then proceeded to plant himself directly in front of her fucking car. She was then unable to go to work because this half-ton beefcake was camping her driveway for so damn long. Local news had time to drive out to her house and cover the fucking story. Now, this is a lot of menace for a single seal to cause, but the funniest part of this is, old mate isn't even fully grown. He's like 5 years old. If you think he can fuck things up now, wait until he's nearly 2 solid-ass tons of blubber and takes issue with the wall of your house. I do not think that seal damage is covered on my fucking insurance plan, dude. This seal...
I mean, not the most dangerous of situations, but if it's blocking your car, yeah, the most annoying. Especially if you gotta go somewhere important. If it's work, if you really think about it, well, realistically, if you think about it, I'm just saying, calling to work, I can't make it. Why not? Believe it or not, there's like this big ass seal in front of my car. Stop lying. Take the picture, send it to him. Why is there a seal in front of your car, bro? I don't know. Can I have the day off? Just walk here. I'm just saying. Sharks are ancient.
I don't think you understand just how old sharks are.
We got a boomer!
See, I'm not just talking individual sharks. Hammerheads, Bruce from Nemo, Jeff. Yeah! Your average shark lives anywhere between 20 to 80 years. Nothing all that special. I'm talking sharks as a species. Because, as a concept, sharks are fucking one-tricks. They have named this class through every single balance adjustment Earth has thrown at them. From climate change, to the Ice Age, to that time God decided to punt a rock at Barney the dinosaur. Yeah, when it comes to prehistoric shark species, most people think of the megalodon. That big boy the size of a kaiju that was swimming around in the ocean around 26 million years ago. Which might sound like a long time, but as far as sharks go, this thing's a f***ing zoomer. Go back around 250 million years to the early Triassic, before the literal dinosaurs, and you'll find Helicorpion, a shark with a f***ing buzzsaw for a mouth. 250 not far back enough for you? Go back around 300 million years, and you will find Adestus, the f***ing pog shark. And if that is still not far back enough, you can go all the way back, right to the beginning, to the first recognizable shark, Doliotis problematicus, at 410 million years old. Sharks have existed for 4 times longer than Saturn has had f***ing rings. The first tree only sprouted out of the ground 385 million years ago. That means that for 25 million years, Groot's great-great-grandfather was sat in God's drafts while this f***er chased Nemo. I don't think you understand.
That shit said the first Bruce. Yo, I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy because it's like crocodiles, sharks, like, bro, these creatures have existed for so long, bro. Even when God threw that meteor down, the rest of them was like, that was a good movie. Like, nah, bro. They need to be extra studied. Alright, now I don't know if this is connected to the previous one. The world's oldest shark. I wonder if he's gonna elaborate more on it.
This is the world's oldest shark.
We got a boomer!
But how old actually is it? This absolute fossil over here is the Greenland shark. And this may come as a shock to you, but the Greenland shark is found in f***ing Greenland, man. And with Grandpa Shark here coming in at a f***ing kaiju size, 6 meters in length, and a literal f***ing ton in weight, this senior citizen probably worked with Godzilla back in his f***ing day. But how senior is senior? Well, you might be expecting me to say something along the lines of, 100 years, maybe 150 years, right? Try higher. No, not 200. Close, but not 300 either.
Chocolate.
No, the Greenland shark can live up to 500 fucking years. I don't think you understand how old that is. So, to put it in perspective, this is Bob. Bob has just turned 500. Here is a list of things this has lived through. All 8 of King Henry's divorces, the invention of chocolate,
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
Shakespeare's entire lifespan, the Boston Tea Party, the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States, the colonization of Australia, the Industrial f***ing Revolution, the invention of the light bulb and adoption of electricity, the Titanic becoming a submarine, World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, the Vietnam War, the f***ing moon landing, and the invention of the internet. The first episode of SpongeBob. Schlatt's crimes in 99. 2001. The invasion of Iraq. The global financial crisis. The death of Harambe. Australia catching fire. The virus. And it's still with us today to watch fucking TikTok. This is the world.
Wow, 500 years is insane. And it's like, they're animals, so they don't have the level of intelligence that we humans do. Or, well, not all animals. Some animals do start to get there. The closest would be monkeys, since we humans are the closest animal to us humans are monkeys. But anyway, 500 years, like I was saying, instinct. They're just trying to just survive. That's just their instinct, just to survive. It's like, bro, after like 100, you didn't think it was enough. 500 is low-key kind of crazy. I would have been bored as hell. Okay, something we can all relate on. Kangaroos are menaces. They are. I've seen some stuff about kangaroos, and ain't nothing pretty about these fellas.
Can and will beat you up.
That's right, just because it's not venomous doesn't mean it can't knock you on your ass.
And Australia's most iconic marsupial can do just that.
Because they are way bigger than you think they are. With our biggest species of roo coming in at a ridiculous 2.8 meters in length. And with the iconic hop, they've got a
Over
vertical
9
jump
feet is
of
crazy.
3 meters. I mean, honestly, with a stat spread like that, they don't belong in the outback, they belong on a fucking NBA court.
As if that wasn't enough, they're also built like tanks, weighing in at a full 90 kilos of roid-raging rabbit muscle, and being able to move way faster than anything that heavy has any right to, pegging the speedo at a max of 70k an hour. Meaning if you make them angry, a juiced up rat the size of a small car is going to run your ass down and beat the f***ing brakes off you.
And I'm not kidding when I say they really will rock your shit, because roos are professional kickboxers, with males routinely fighting MMA to win female attention. When they fight, kangaroos will lean back on their tails as a stabilizer and immediately start scratching and kicking the ever-loving shit out of one another. And those kicks have enough force to crack bone.
And as if getting drop-kicked by a muscled marsupial wasn't bad enough, they also for some reason have the same bite force as a grizzly bear, because why not? Now, even with all of this, there are still animals stupid enough to view a roo as lunch, which brings me to the most terrifying thing that they do. When threatened, kangaroos will hop into a body of water and wait for whatever is chasing them to follow them in. Once the predator enters the water, the kangaroo will wrap its arms around their neck and just straight up drown them. What the f***, man? I share a country with psychopathic tren rats.
Oh!
Kangaroos can and...
What did I just say about animals having a certain level of intellect? A certain level. Like, it literally went in the water knowing that predator or enemy, whoever, can't breathe underwater and will literally wait there to drown you under it. What the hell? Alright, y'all. This is the last one. Kangaroos can run on water. Man, what the hell can't they do, bro? They're just Jesus reincarnated.
Okay, so, as the Aussie animal guy, I feel like I might owe you an explanation for this one. That is a normal fucking roo. No, he is not Roosus Christ, he's not the second coming, and he's not gonna turn your water into wine. Alright, he might turn it into VB if you ask nice.
Get that up, yeah.
But if that's the case, how the fuck is he stealing the Son of God's passive? Well, the answer is fucking sand.
I don't like sand.
Yeah, you see, what's far more likely than a roo
so
being enchanted with water walking is that he's actually running on a sandbar. That is basically just a fancy description for ocean currents piling up a shitload of sand into one place, creating an offshore segment of the water that's not much deeper than a fucking kid's pool. Now, roos know about sandbars, and they actually very frequently use them as a shortcut to get from A to B to find more food. So, while it looks like Skippy here is stealing Jesus' entire fucking flow, he's actually on a Macca's mish.
Let me get a...
So basically, it's just hopping on like sand that's just built up underneath. It's not really hopping on. I was about to say, like, bro, what the hell? This motherfucker is jumping on water. But oh my god, these shorts were very they were very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not gonna say inspirational. They were very telling in the stuff that we already know or don't know. And it's scary out here, man. But hey, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you guys for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed. If so, y'all know what to do. And without further ado, these were, oh my god, this stuff was a little disturbing and a little traumatizing. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all later, and y'all take it easy.